northwest corner of Montana, where the Rocky Mountains rise in jagged walls above ancient glacial valleys, there exists a road unlike any other in America. It does not simply pass through a landscape. It becomes part of one, carved into cliffs, draped across escarpments, threading the Continental Divide at more than 6,000 feet above the sea. It is called Going to the Sun Road, and to understand it is to understand something essential about human ambition and the places we choose to protect. The mountain for which the road is named carries its own deep history. One Native American legend holds that a deity known as Sour Spirit descended from the sun to teach the Blackfeet people the fundamentals of hunting. Upon returning to the heavens, an image of Sour Spirit was left upon the mountain as an enduring inspiration. Another account suggests that a late 19th century Euro-American explorer was responsible for the name and the legend. Which story holds the deeper truth? History does not say with certainty, but the mountain stands regardless, and it dominates the eastbound view beyond Logan Pass with a commanding, unmistakable presence. The road that now bears that mountain's name was not born from a single vision. It began with a superintendent. In 1917, George Goodwin first conceived of a route that would cross the park from west to east, connecting two worlds that had long remained separated by miles of wilderness. The following year, Goodwin became the chief engineer of the National Park Service, and the road became his primary undertaking. Construction began in 1921. Going to the Sun Road was notable from the outset as one of the first National Park Service projects specifically designed to accommodate the automobile-borne tourist. Before its construction, a visitor wishing to cross through the central reaches of Glacier National Park might spend several days making the journey on foot or horseback. The road would change that entirely, collapsing days of travel into a matter of hours. It was, in that sense, a democratic gesture, bringing the interior of one of America's most spectacular national parks within reach of ordinary travelers who could not afford the time or means to mount a wilderness expedition. But as the project proceeded, a question emerged that was larger than any single engineering calculation. How should a road move through a place of such extraordinary natural beauty? Should it cut the most efficient path, or should it yield, even at greater cost, to the shape of the land? That question found its answer in the work of landscape architect Thomas Chalmers Vint. Where Goodwin's proposed routing of the upper portion of the road would have required more switchbacks and left a more visible scar on the terrain, Vint offered an alternative, an alignment tracing the dramatic face of the Garden Wall escarpment. The Garden Wall is a knife-edged glacial arete, a ridge so narrow in places that water falling on its crest drains to opposite sides of the continent. Vint's path followed that wall with care, threading the road along the cliff face in a way that reduced both the number of switchbacks and the road's visual impact on the surrounding landscape. It cost more, but it respected the mountain in a way the earlier proposal likely could not. As Goodwin's influence with National Park Service Director Stephen Mather diminished, and as Goodwin ultimately resigned, Vint's proposal became the preferred alignment. The philosophy it embodied, that a road through a national park should serve the landscape as much as the traveler, would shape everything that followed. Guiding that philosophy on the ground was Frank Kittredge, who took charge as supervising engineer and oversaw much of the road's most technically demanding construction through the alpine sections. His crews worked in terrain that offered few concessions, short working seasons, unstable rock, and the constant threat of the elements closing in before the work could be finished. Construction pressed forward through the rugged terrain for more than a decade. In 1932, the work was complete. On July 15, 1933, Going to the Sun Road was formally dedicated. The total cost of the project, $2.5 million. The total length, approximately 50 miles, stretching from U.S. Route 2 in West Glacier on the west to U.S. Route 89 in St. Mary on the east, crossing the Continental Divide at Logan Pass, elevation 6,646 feet. The road that emerged from those 11 years of labor is, to this day, a narrow and winding passage. West of Logan Pass in particular, hairpin turns demand full attention from every driver who attempts them. Between Avalanche Creek on the west side and the Rising Sun Picnic area on the east, vehicles are restricted to no more than 21 feet in length and 8 feet in width. Vehicles exceeding 10 feet in height may lack sufficient clearance beneath rock overhangs along the stretch between Logan Pass and the hairpin known as the Loop. Speed limits drop to 25 miles per hour in the steepest alpine sections. The engineering that makes the road possible is everywhere visible in its stone guardrails, retaining walls, and the tunnel cut directly through the rock near Logan Pass. Each element chosen to be as unobtrusive as the builders could manage. The road yields to no one who is not paying attention. And then there is winter. Each year, after the road closes, generally by mid-October, the mountains reclaim it. Up to 80 feet of snow can accumulate atop Logan Pass. Just east of the pass lies the deepest snowfield on the road, a formation long known simply as the Big Drift. When spring arrives, reclaiming the road requires not just equipment, but patience and endurance. Even with machinery capable of moving 4,000 tons of snow per hour, the snowplow crew may clear as little as 500 feet in a single day. The full plowing operation takes roughly 10 weeks. On the east side of the Continental Divide, guardrails are largely absent, not by oversight, but because the late winter avalanches that sweep the slopes have, repeatedly, destroyed whatever barriers were placed there. The road is generally open from early June through mid-October. It did not open until July 13th, the latest opening on record since the inaugural date of 1933. The work of preservation is, in many ways, never finished. Since the 1980s, the National Park Service and the Federal Highway Administration have undertaken a sustained restoration effort, repairing damage accumulated over decades of avalanches and rock slides. When weather permits, crews address retaining walls, tunnels, bridges, culverts, and overlooks. Original pavement has been replaced with reinforced concrete. The restoration work has required careful attention to the road's historic character, matching the stone masonry of the original construction, preserving the aesthetic choices that Vint and Kittredge made, and ensuring that the repairs do not undo what the builders worked so hard to achieve. The work continues to the present day, a quiet, ongoing commitment to a road that the nation has recognized as worth keeping. That recognition is itself remarkable. Going to the Sun Road stands as the first road ever to be registered simultaneously as a National Historic Place, a National Historic Landmark, and a Historic Civil Engineering Landmark. All three designations held by a single road, a distinction that speaks to how completely this 50-mile corridor of stone and pavement has woven itself into the fabric of American history. Today, visitors still travel it in ways that echo the earliest years of the road's life. A fleet of vintage 1930s red buses, modernized in 2001, running primarily on propane with automatic transmissions, but still known affectionately as Red Jammers, offers guided tours along the route. The name reaches back to the original drivers, who had to jam their manual gearboxes into low gear to safely negotiate the steepest sections. That tradition of shared wonder, of experiencing this road in community with others, has outlasted the gearboxes that gave it its name. Going to the Sun Road is, in the end, a study in what it means to build something that does not overpower the world around it, that bends instead of dominates, that costs more because the place demands it. It was built to give people access to a wilderness, and in doing so, it became part of that wilderness itself. If you found this history worth knowing, subscribe for more stories of human ambition in steel, stone, and concrete.